What if the devil wasn't evil? Just honest? What if the thing you were taught to fear was simply the voice that never lied to you? The one that whispered the truth when everyone else fed you comforting illusions? That you're not okay, that life isn't fair, that love isn't always pure, that heaven might be just another prison with prettier walls. We demonize the voice that holds the mirror too long. That shows us what we've become. But sometimes it's not the liar who's dangerous, it's the one who speaks without mercy. Because mercy in this world often means denial. It means softening what should break you open. But the devil doesn't soften. He doesn't coddle. He doesn't give you time to breathe between realizations. He simply says, "Here you are. This is what you've built. This is what you believe. Now look at it." And most people can't. So they run. They light candles, recite affirmations, write down 5 things they're grateful for, hoping it'll drown out the one truth echoing at the back of their skull. You've become a beautiful lie. You see, evil isn't always some monstrous thing in the dark. More often, it's the accumulation of every small compromise you made to survive. It's the price of self-betrayal in a world that rewards performance over authenticity. You weren't born broken, you were born wide open. And slowly, methodically, the world taught you how to close. Not with cruelty, but with convenience. Because honesty is inconvenient. It disrupts, it disorients, it tears down the stories that make us feel safe. But safety can be a coffin. Ask yourself, how many times have you smiled when you wanted to scream? How often have you said, "I'm fine," when your soul was dissolving in acid? How many masks have you worn just to be loved? The devil doesn't wear masks. He doesn't hide behind platitudes or posture. He's raw, he's real, and that terrifies people. Because if he's right, then everything we've built is a lie. Our marriages, our faith, our careers, our sense of self. He whispers things no therapist will say out loud. That maybe you don't miss your ex, you miss the distraction from your own emptiness. That maybe your goals are just grief-wearing ambition as camouflage. That maybe the person you call you is just a ghost of who you were before the world convinced you to settle. And that's the worst part. We settle. Not because we're lazy, but because we're tired. Tired of fighting the tide. Tired of being punished for speaking truth. Tired of being told that if we just stayed positive, if we just worked harder, meditated longer, or believed more, it would all make sense. But it never does. Because it was never supposed to. This world was not built to make you whole. It was built to keep you functioning. And functioning is not the same as living. Living requires pain, not as a punishment, but as proof. Proof that you are not numb, that you are not asleep, that there is still something inside you that refuses to be silenced. But silence is easier, isn't it? So we brand the voice that challenges us as toxic. We label discomfort as negative energy. We reject any force that makes us question the story we're clinging to, even if that story is killing us. The devil doesn't kill you. He just refuses to let keep dying quietly. He turns the lights on when you're trying to sleep through your own collapse. And what do we do when the light comes? We curse it. We call it evil. But evil is just truth that arrives too early, before we're ready, before we've had our coffee, before the mask is on. So we blame the messenger. We paint horns on the mirror and wonder why the reflection haunts us. But what if you stopped running? What if you turned toward the thing you've been taught to fear the most? The raw, unfiltered voice that asks again and again, "Is this who you really are?" Because no one else is asking. Your boss isn't. Your friends aren't. Even your lover probably isn't. They like the version of you they've grown comfortable with. The predictable one. The palatable one. The one who doesn't ask too many questions. But you ask them, quietly, in the shower, in traffic, in the seconds before sleep. Questions that scrape against your skin from the inside. What if I'm not meant for this life? What if I'm living someone else's dream? What if my happiness is just a performance? You silence them. With distraction, with caffeine, with scrolling and substances and surface-level self-help. But the questions don't die. They just dig deeper. And eventually, you hit something. A root, a truth, a voice. And it doesn't sound like God. It sounds like something older, something colder. But somehow, more honest than anything you've heard in years. And says, "I was never trying to destroy you, I was trying to wake you up." Wake you up from what? From the hypnosis of normalcy, from the quiet suffocation of a life built on borrowed beliefs, from the lie that being good, being liked, being obedient would ever lead to freedom. But freedom isn't pretty. It doesn't come with a certificate or a sense of peace. Freedom comes with blood, with grief, with the unraveling of everything that once made you feel secure. You want to be free. Then you have to burn the script. The one your parents wrote in fear. The one society handed you in school. The one religion whispered in your ear while you slept. You have to hold it to the flame and watch it turn to ash, knowing full well that what comes next will be chaos. But also, truth. The truth that there is no savior coming. No reward for suffering quietly. No prize for staying asleep. Only the raw, disorienting beauty of becoming real. And reality is not clean. It's not polished. It doesn't fit in a vision board. It screams. It bleeds. It rips your ego out by the roots. But it also gives you back your soul. That's the paradox we run from, that the devil we feared might be the doorway to the self we buried. Because sometimes the one who breaks you is the only one willing to show you who you've become. Everyone else wants to keep you whole, but only because it makes them feel safe. Your wholeness is a convenience to them. It reassures them that the system works, that pain has a purpose, that suffering leads to something beautiful. But you know better. You've lived in the beautiful cage. You've decorated it with dreams. You've smiled through the bars and called it gratitude, until something inside you started to rot. A scream with no mouth, a rage with no target, a grief with no name. And now you're here, not by choice, but by collapse. Something brought you to this moment, this questioning, this shaking, this internal earthquake that won't let you go back to sleep. And here's what no one tells you. This is holy ground. The breakdown is sacred. Because only when everything falls apart do you finally see what's real. Not what's given. Not what's taught. But what's yours. And what's yours is rarely neat, rarely acceptable. rarely safe. What's yours is dangerous, wild, unreasonable. It's the art you were afraid to make, the words you were told not to say, the life you were warned would ruin you. But it won't ruin you. It'll reveal you. And that's why we fear it. Because the revealed self has no place in polite society. The revealed self doesn't wait in line or raise its hand. It breaks the silence. It speaks when it's inconvenient. It wants what it wants and doesn't apologize. You were taught that kind of self was wrong. But wrong by whose standards? The ones who benefit from your silence? The ones who gain from your obedience? The ones who fear your fire? You've been taught to fear your own truth, to call it sinful, selfish, delusional, to pray it away, to push it down, to numb it with productivity. But truth doesn't die, it waits. And the more you ignore it, the louder it knocks. Until one day, you can't breathe without hearing it. And it tells you, there's nothing wrong with you, there never was. That voice, that's not evil. That's liberation disguised as chaos. That's selfhood wearing the mask of rebellion. That's you, unedited, unfiltered, unforgiven, and free. And yes, it may feel like destruction. Because when a lie has built your entire life, truth will feel like violence. Only at first. Then comes the silence. Not the numb kind, but the real kind. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't beg to be understood. The kind that just is. That's where peace lives. Not at the top of the mountain. Not in the achievement. Not in the approval. But in the raw, bloody reclamation of yourself. And that self is not polished. Not pious. Not perfect. But it's you. It's the voice that said no when the world expected yes. It's the rage you swallowed when you were told to be nice. It's the grief you carried alone when no one asked if you were okay. It's the fire that never went out, no matter how hard they tried to drown it. The devil didn't put it there. He just refused to let you forget it. And maybe that's the point. Maybe evil isn't the thing that tries to break you. Maybe evil is the force that convinces you to stay broken, to stay quiet, to stay asleep. And maybe, just maybe, the devil was never your enemy. He was the shadow you needed to walk through to remember you were alive. He was the honesty you prayed for when you asked for healing. He was the mirror the light was too afraid to show you. And now, you see, not because you were saved, but because you stopped pretending to be someone worth saving, you became something else entirely, something holy, something dangerous, something true. If this broke you open in ways you didn't expect, then maybe it's time you stop running from the voice inside and start listening. Welcome to Philospiral.